Once he gave us that diagnosis of, stage 4 breast cancer, it was, "Okay, we're good, you need to come in, we're gonna get you in for surgery in, like, 2 days."
Wow.
It was within the week.
If you get value out of this video, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Let's get on to the video.
We're in bed one day, and I think it was in the morning, and she said, "I think I feel a lump in my breast." And, we didn't think too much of it, and she kept checking. She's like, "I'm pretty sure I've got a lump in my breast." And so we came home from that trip and began the first of many doctor's appointments. She went for that first appointment. She went for a mammogram, and she had done mammograms a few times before that. Nothing had ever come up, and so we did that first appointment. And he said, "You know what? It's probably breast cancer."
This is your family doctor,
This actually at that
or
point
her family.
she had already referred us to, I guess, to an oncologist.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you go to the oncologist. The oncologist does the mammogram.
yeah. Says, yeah, it's probably breast cancer. They did. Oh my god, now I can't even remember what it's called. Uh, the biopsy.
Yeah.
So he did a biopsy to determine a little bit more of it, and then yes, sure enough, the diagnosis came back that it was breast cancer, and it was stage 4 breast cancer
So,
already
Steve,
at that
were
point.
were you with her at this point when the oncologist is giving you this news?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
we
so
had.
so
I had gone with her to all of the appointments. Yeah,
right. Okay, so I just wanted to focus a little bit on that because I think it's so
yeah,
important because we live every day, wash, rinse, repeat, and we're going through our normal life and we're raising kids, and then something like this
yeah.
happens. And it's not something I've said this before. You can't prepare for this. There's nothing. There's no book you could read that could prepare you for something like this. So just walk me through you sitting in that oncologist office or wherever you were, and the oncologist says, "Maggie, you've been diagnosed with," and tell me about that experience. What went through your head? I'm not sure if you can speak on her behalf, or maybe you guys had a discussion, but how did you feel? How did that rock you, so to speak?
I think a lot of it really was just shock. As you said, life was so normal. We had been going to work every day and then doing stuff with the kids in the evening and then going to bed and watching TV. And it was that wash, rinse, repeat. And then all of a sudden, like I said, those it started with those words, "I think I feel a lump in my breast." And then the doctor confirming it and saying, "Yes, it's breast cancer." There's so much shock and just kind of disbelief that, you know what, like 2 weeks ago our lives were so normal. um you know the we're at the doctor's office. I don't remember what time. I mean, it might have been 3:30 in the afternoon. Like, but yesterday at this time I was just at the office doing routine things.
Right.
And now we've got this diagnosis, and we already know. I mean, we know enough from TV and movies and the media, and yes, and friends and family, of course, who have gone through some things. Is our lives are going to completely change now. We know at that point the first thing was, or it was the first step was, okay, we're going to do a lumpectomy. Like, oh my god, okay, so now we're talking surgery. Like, we've never, she's never had to have surgery. Neither of us had ever had a surgery at
So,
that
Steve,
point.
let me just interject here for a second.
Yeah,
But is this subsequent to your doctor visit, or are you guys still at the doctor's office and you're just absorbing this, having this conversation?
a lot of it, I think, it's been some of it is starting to blur as the years move on.
Right.
Things moves very quickly. Once he gave us that diagnosis of, stage 4 breast cancer, and maybe we didn't even know the stage at that point until after the surgery. Now I'm not 100% clear on that. But
Mhm.
once the biopsy results had come in and he gave us that diagnosis, it was, okay, we're good. You need to come in. We're going to get you in for surgery in like 2 days.
Wow.
It was within the week. And, again, we didn't know a lot. You hear the term breast cancer all the time. And again, bits and pieces you remember in such vivid detail. I remember the doctor saying, To say the word breast cancer doesn't really mean anything. It's like saying you own a car. There are
Hmm.
so many models of car out there, and the same thing, breast cancer comes in so many, a ridiculous number of varieties.
Right.
So you have it. And we didn't really understand what stage 4 meant. And we knew it sounded pretty serious. Um, but we were also confused. It's like, well, how can it be stage 4? Like, what happened to stages 1 through 3?
Hmm.
How could we not have, how could we not have noticed that something was already happening in the body for all that time? And she would think, but she'd had mammograms, I think less than a year before. You know,
Wow.
why? How come nothing came up in any of that stuff? How come there were no other symptoms? But it was faced right away with that. Yeah, it's stage 4.
Okay. So the oncologist tells you it's stage 4. You're trying to absorb all this. You quickly realize that surgery is needed. He wants you in as quick as possible. Um, Now, you guys have 3 children at this point.
That's right. Yeah.
How old were you guys and how old were the kids? Because what I'd like to know is how does somebody have a conversation with their children at that age?
That's, at the beginning, we kind of tried to do it in secret. We tried to keep the kids from knowing. Um,
If that video touched your heart and you got value out of it and you want to hear another piece, click here. If you want to watch the full episode and hear the whole story, click here.